I became student at Heritage in 1992, um, and I was almost swindled to be a student at Heritage. Steve Shelton was our minister, and he had been trying to get me to be more involved at church, and he took me to lunch, and we ended up in Jim Collins's office. And before I knew it, I had registered. I was a student at UNA. And before I knew it, I had classes and already bought my books. When I went home and told mom and dad, guess what I did today? and My sophomore year from UNA had now become my freshman year at Heritage. So it was 1992, and I've been there ever since. I've been a student there. Got my bachelor's there. I've got a. Uh, I've taken my last class now for my MDiv. When I think of what heritage means to me, um, that phrase that we used for years, real world ministry, that comes to mind. Um, I had friends that went to Freed, um, and I did too. But I, when I being a part of Heritage, I learned how to really be a minister. I learned how to really the practicalityness of it. Um, I guess it was more hands on. I saw ministry in action by my professors. Not that I didn't in other places, but I knew them personally. I saw what Basil Overton did. I saw what Kippy Myers did back years ago uh, when he was there with us, and I saw what Wayne Kilpatrick did, and Jerry Davidson. I saw how he did a Bible study. As a matter of fact, he taught me how to do my first Bible study and taught me how to. His class, Introduction to Soul Winning, taught me how to do my first real uh, home Bible study with somebody. I guess it taught me how to really be a hands-on minister. You could learn how to preach anywhere, but this taught me how to work with people because they worked with me. And I would just encourage people to not quit, to just keep striving. I mean, ministry is a lifelong journey of learning. I mean, we're as students of the word, we're never supposed to stop learning, and especially as ministers, we're supposed to always be learning. And as as preachers, we're always trying to make ourselves better. And what better way to make ourselves better than to always be in class, always be at the feet of somebody that knows more than we do. So I would always be trying to take classes, whether it's seeking a degree or whether it's just auditing another class or just trying to read another book or trying to do something. Never give up. Always try to just keep pushing yourself to be better and never give up. Just keep trying to take more and more classes, whatever you do. Never stop. I've always, we hear, I guess you hear people say that there's a shortage of ministers. And then I've heard people say, well, there's not really a shortage of ministers. There's a shortage of good ministers. Um, and I don't know how you classify that word, good ministers, but in my mind, the good minister is somebody that really cares about the people that they minister to. They don't see it more as just a job. They see it more as a lifestyle, and they care about the people that they minister to. They see their church family as a family. So for those people that are looking towards that, as with the shortage of those ministers, so to speak, I would encourage people to just go into it with your eyes wide open, knowing that there's going to be struggles, um, but knowing that the reward of it may not be in this life. We got to prepare for that. We got to know that, but knowing that as long as you as long as you do your best, as long as you're striving to be the best that you can be, that God's going to take care of you, and and as long as you got your family support, that's important too. You got to have your family support. Make sure they're on board to be able to do this with you. Then you can do this, and you'll be blessed. How is it not fun to see the gleam in somebody's eyes, to know that they're changing their life and they're beginning something new? You know, I I've always liked the beginning of school, because I always see that as a change in. You get to change. You get to start something fresh. I've always liked Monday because that's a fresh start, because it's something you could start new. And I I I think that every new day is fun in ministry, because you don't know what it's going to hold. You don't know what's going to happen that day. You could change somebody's life. You could help show somebody the truth that's never seen it before, or you could just make somebody smile. Uh, it's absolutely fun because you're involved in the lives of people. There are times where it's not, where you have to do funerals, where you have to be at the bedside of people that are dying. But the overwhelming glimpse of it is we get to work with Jesus. I mean, how is that not fun? Well, I've already mentioned Jerry Davidson, who was, instrumental. When I took the class, Introduction to Soul Winning, and I've got the book up here. The cover, um, it's already, it's fallen off, but I still remember the class that I took with him. And when we went on our first campaign, he told us that we had to have a plan to be able to study the Bible with somebody. And I had taught class at church, and I was a 19-year-old kid, and I had done devos, but I never really, went into somebody's home that I didn't know and said, "Hey, could we study the Bible together? Could I talk to you about Jesus?" I'd never opened up my Bible and started from scratch with somebody that didn't know, and I was terrified. And he just took the time with me and showed me his plan. And I remember the plan he showed me. I went to my elders and said, for the first time, I, I want to preach Sunday. Can I preach Sunday? That's the first time I ever preached. And I preached exactly what he showed me. And that was the first time that I actually realized that this is something that I can do. That was the first time that I really saw a teacher, I guess, in at Heritage, that, well, International Bible College back then, that they actually believed in me, that this is something that you can do this, man. You have potential in this. And from that moment on, I noticed they all saw that in me, and they all cared about me, and they all loved me. And there was this family aspect of them preparing me because they cared about me. And that's something that sure, you're going to get that at other universities, but at Heritage, I, I guess it seems more prevalent, because maybe it's just more of the family aspect because of the size of the building. We're all right there together. That it's just so much of a loving atmosphere, that they prepared me to love others because they loved me. And I think that's the greatest aspect that helped me.